Pierre,
Hello.
you've been to hell and you came back. How's your shoulder?
Getting better. It's been 5 months. I still don't move quite much, but I can tattoo now, so I'm alright.
Holy
Yeah.
crap. So is that helping you with the conventions or it's a detriment?
No, it actually helped. I mean, staying 5 months at home, we were able to talk and work a little more on the convention, for sure. Yeah.
Sure. And here we have Val, that's your partner in crime.
Yeah.
And so we all know that you've been doing Montreal Tattoo Convention, the Art Quebec Tattoo Convention. How did you end up to be doing conventions like that?
Okay, so first of all, it started with love of tattooing, right? But how it started, I came home one night, and I just spoke with Pascal Richard that came at the shop, and I came home and I told Val, well, this is what we're doing now. Pretty much. Let's be involved in the convention.
So were you happy about that? Were you stressed?
No, I was happy. We've been participating in the Montreal convention for a few years, and when Pascal came and asked if we wanted to get involved, of course I didn't know what it was gonna be ending up to be, but it was a nice project. We love tattooing, and I mean the shop, it was just like an extra step for us to get involved. So we started working with Pascal for a few years.
Yeah, it felt important. I mean, when he came and talked about it, like, do you want to get involved and stuff? And when he came at the shop and asked, it felt like I wanted to. We had to, because we want to make sure in Montreal something happens that we like, because we love tattooing, we love our community, and I think it was important for us to be involved.
So at that time, what in the hell were you thinking? Like, what makes you, to be that person that could bring that convention? Like at that time, you had no experience much. You've been to many conventions.
Yeah, I mean, the first convention I attended as artist was the first Montreal convention in 1993 that Dan and Keith were organizing. So, I mean, I was at the first Montreal convention.
Okay.
But my first tattoo convention I ever attended was 1988 in Bourges in France. And again, it comes back to the love of tattooing. I mean, it's a lot of work. If you don't love what you do, I mean, it sucks at the end of the day, right?
So you had no experience in organizing a convention.
No.
At the beginning, Pascal was
Yeah.
still involved, so he was
We're
handling
partners.
Mentor sort
he
of
was
thing.
handling everything more technical.
Yep.
So, and we were more on the artist side, and then Pierre would do more social and stuff like that. So we were more on the social side of the convention. And then when Pascal decided to stop being involved and then ask us if we wanted to take over, that's when we started to just do the convention from A to Z.
Okay.
But before that, it was mostly technical work by Pascal, and the social and the art work from us.
Yeah, exactly as you said it. He was our mentor. Right?
So
Like,
you've been apprenticed.
Yes.
exactly like learning a tattoo. Like you have to learn how to do an insurance contract. You have to go rental places. You have to, you have to know a bunch of stuff.
Electricity,
And
just
you know, all
a
that
bunch
stuff,
of
right?
basic
I
stuff.
mean, artists
Yeah.
complain about the electricity. Good. So that was when? Like when was your
That
first
was
convention?
2017.
That we took the convention over.
Yeah, I think so.
But we got involved in 2004. So as a partner. It's because 2003 was
2014 when we took over.
okay.
Because it had been almost 10 years of the Montreal Convention, and then we celebrated the 20th anniversary, so it's an extra 10 years that we've been doing it by ourselves.
Let's. Kate, can you research that to make sure? Thank you. But so basically, you started well with help of Pascal. You took over.
But it didn't start like this, because we went to the convention in 2003 as artists, right?
Okay.
Then he came and said, do you want to get involved? And help us with getting artists and stuff. So very simple stuff, as Val said, like more the social side and more the art stuff. And we did work hard because we actually loved it. So the Saturday night of that year, we sat down, had a beer, and he goes, do you want to get involved and partner up? Because it makes my life easier.
Do you want to continue on for the next
And you
year?
could see that the show was getting better because each of us has different strengths, right? So then over a period of 10 years, we learned what he knew how to do, and then, and that's what Val does. She learned.
That's good. And of course, you're a big part of the show. You're like the administrator of all the gods, in a sense.
Yeah.
And on your part, like, is it hard to talk to tattooers all the time? Like sometimes they're not reachable. Sometimes they're hard to get reached out.
I mean, eventually learned that in the tattoo industry, it might take a long time for people to get back to you. I don't take it personal. I know how to handle people and I'm used to it now.
She's married. She's
So-
been
and
married
yes.
to a tattooist for 30 years.
Yes, exactly.
So
So,
she knows.
I know on the small level of a tattoo shop, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
this convention is more like a bigger tattoo shop if you want.
True.
But obviously, I know that sometimes I do feel like I have to reach out more. I don't want to be a pain in the ass, but I know that if I don't, people will
They'll pass
just
by and-
they just won't answer. But I don't take it personal. It's just how it is, I guess.
So 2025 will be your 21st
Yes.
year. 20th or 22nd, we're not sure, right?
It's because we
There's
stopped
one
for
missing
for COVID.
Yes, we
Correct.
missed 2 years of Montreal.
Yeah. So
for
21st
COVID.
edition
21st,
is 2025.
this year,
Yes.
25.
Yeah.
That's amazing, but that didn't stop there though. A few years ago, you started another convention
In Quebec
in
City.
Quebec City.
Yes.
Yes. the
Talk to me
Tattoo
about that
Quebec.
one. Was it another challenge compared to Montreal?
It seemed for us like it was just a continuity of what we were doing, and Quebec City is a very nice place. People in Quebec City overall are super easy and fun to deal with. So obviously it was like a new thing, but because we have the basic kind of figured out, it was just to bring what we know into the new convention.
Sort of the same
The
template.
goal-
Exactly.
the goal-
Template is the same always for
The goal
us,
was
you know?
not from the start to go, oh, we're going to do many shows. We had one show, we're happy with it. What happened is, over a period of time, we realized that people from Quebec, even though it's only 3 hours away, would not come down to Montreal,
Visitors.
Saint-Domingue, visitors
Yes,
and
yes,
stuff.
yeah.
And that place was open, and we go there quite often, we like it. And so we organize it. I mean, the shell is the same thing, but the artist is a bit different because we go with what people like there. So, you know, the vibe is a bit different.
A bit more local and
Yeah.
regional artists as well. And because of the amount of tattooers and tattoo shop, it gave us the option to bring new people into the show.
As well.
Okay, yeah.
Which
That's a good,
because when we're doing Montreal, whether it was at Gare-Windsor or now the Conquet, we're limited in boot space. So we don't have space for 300 booths. We only have space for an X amount of booths. So by bringing Quebec, it was for us a good way to bring new people into the show.
Okay, yeah.
And then a lot of the time what happens is people that do the Quebec show end up also coming to Montreal in the end because we see how it works, we see the vibe, we see the artists.
At the end, we promoters, right? So it's to promote what tattoo is becoming or what it is now as much as we can in our province, pretty much, right?
So that's your goal as a tattoo convention organizer. It's to bring tattoo to people as much
What
as
is
you can.
to give back to the it's gonna sound, but to the community as well, right? We're part of something. We take a lot for tattooing. I mean, I made my life on tattooing. I have to give back, and I think each city deserves one conventions a year that's well organized, well put in for people that enjoy tattooing.
So that's crazy that you've been doing this for 21 here, pretty much, or 10 years. Is it?
So
Well, no.
basically it will be like a 20 years that we've been fully
Yes,
involved.
yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, like for 20 full edition that we've been involved in the
Yeah.
event, 10 years all by ourselves.
Yeah.
And then
Crazy.
Quebec is 8 years now.
8 years.
Yes.
Okay.
So 21 years in the making, let's say. You must have been 10 by then. Like,
Yeah, it was 10 and now it's 11. So, we started
but
very
seriously,
young.
you for people who know you, they know you. You're sort of came up in tattooing. But tell me, in your words, how did you end up really liking tattooing? Because you were born into tattooing, but that's
I wasn't born, but my dad became a tattooing around '84. We were just coming back from Spain, so I grew up in a village, small village in France. We traveled a lot and stuff. And in '84, my dad started tattooing. I had a private studio in our house, so I mean next to my bedroom. He actually took my bedroom to do the studio. So
Priorities.
I mean every night we'd tattoo some people that would sit on the floor, watch him work, talk to his customers, draw and stuff. So already I was part of it, right? Then he started bringing me to when he was getting tattooed by the Lou family, by Philip or Felix, because they were living only an hour and a half away. And then he started taking me to convention back in '88, twice a year, 3 times a year. So I didn't know I was going to be a tattoo artist. I just became, because I just loved it. I was part of it. People knew me, and then you get friendship, and then your life is what it is.
Okay. So, but still, there's a big leap in between convention and tattooing.
Well, again, it has to start with, you know, you hear sometimes that tattooing will never suck. It never sucks. It's awesome. So when you're really passionate about something, I think it's important to not just take and do little thing and stuff, but and plus I need a lot in my life.
Well, Pierre likes to have a new project, so convention comes into that. But for us, doing the convention is like taking what's best of tattooing. Obviously, only 2 times a year when we don't go to other show for our show, but it's bringing all the people that we know together, spending a good time, a good weekend together. And there's nothing I like more than just meeting either new artists or seeing each people coming back year after year, because for us it's important when people say they've been doing our show for an X amount of years. We're feeling very it's good for us, you know. We appreciate it that people take the time to travel to come back.
We have people that are coming back that are there from the first edition. I mean, it's
Name
insane.
one. Do you have a name right now? That
We have quite a few that came for. I mean.
By Dave.
Dave is an example, yeah.
By Earth.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dan. I mean,
obviously Dan and Malia,
there's quite a few
you
people,
know.
that.
And everybody's older. Everybody has different, you know. When we started, let's say 20 years ago, we were younger. Most people didn't have kids. It was more like not a party weekend, but you can say that. Now people have families. They bring their families with them. They
Play
take the
hard,
time
work
to
hard.
We saw
travel.
couple that
So,
that studied there and
made
stuff. So.
into the convention and people being together because they met at the convention. So for us, it's always very important.
And the convention is growing on its own pace, right? Because when we got involved, obviously I took all my contacts, like I called Tintin, I called whoever I was calling that I knew, do you want to come to the convention? It's amazing, blah, 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 making my thing, right? And getting a bit of notoriety, we say, right? Then it brought us a lot of applications, right? People want to be involved now, they want to attend the convention. So now we have the old generation, new generation, different variety of styles. So that's how it grows, right?
Yeah.
And then we get so many people that want to be part of the convention that we can pick and choose as well.
Yeah. For the quality, yes.
Of
Yes.
course.
Montreal
always
to me,
important for us.
the quality.
Yes.
Yes. And to me, Montreal is sign of quality work.
Yeah.
Right?
Quality
Always
work
been,
and
always
quality
been.
of artists attending too. On a personal level, I would say. There's a few artists over the years that work super well and everything, but the vibe is not quite there. So we know very fast who fits into the event or who is just there because they want to show up or whatever.
Montreal is an awesome city, which helps. I mean, Montreal makes the convention also what it is because it's very energetic city and stuff. It's friendly. There's a lot of culture, so it sets the ideal setting for the show. So we do the same. We try to keep the same vibe, which is friendly, talented, energetic, all that stuff in the convention.
So you would say that, let's say, talk about Montreal for a second, that Montreal is a sign of high quality work, respectful tattooers, and a family atmosphere as
Yes,
per
100%.
tattoo family.
And the as Val said, we can't push the wall and have 1,000 tattoos tomorrow, and that would not be our goal anyway, because we want to keep it with the market that allows us for every artist to be busy.
Very good.
Right?
Yeah.
And so far we're lucky enough because Montreal visitors or people from around that come to the convention get tattooed.
Yes.
So we've never seen anybody not. I mean, it happens.
Or if you
But
don't
it's
feel like
always
working, it's
busy.
because you don't really
Well, it could happen.
feel like it or whatever. But overall, people who attend the event because we have an X amount of artists fits with the amount of visitor that we have. If we would have 1,000 booth, obviously you don't
Half
have
of it would
100,000 people coming in.
Yeah. So that's part of the not the secret, but of the knowledge you acquired through the
Over
years.
the years,
Right.
yes. Yeah.
Because that's something that a lot of people want to make it bigger. They create new conventions, but then there's nobody.
I don't want to see people at the convention going like this for 3 days because there's no one coming into the event. I'd rather see people working if they want to, obviously, because there's people coming in. But if you have X amount of booth and people are just like this for the weekend and they go home and they say, "Oh, that show sucked because I didn't do nothing." We don't want people to leave on Monday and say that show sucked.
I think I would agree on that. I think to us the most nerve-wracking thing about organizing a show comes a week prior to the show, where we don't sleep anymore, because just a week before, because before that we just work, it's just fun. A week prior to the show, we goes, why nobody shows up?
It's where you start dreaming that there's nobody coming to the doors.
Because we had that responsibility, we keep telling people it's awesome, it's going to be great, but at the end of the day,
if someone wants to come, he's going to come. If they don't want to show up, they're not going to come.
That brings me to a question I had for you guys. Like, you got your recipe, but the wild card is always the people.
Yes.
Right? So people coming in, tattooers, and of course, they all know, but really they don't know sometimes, right? What would you say to a first timer or someone that comes to Montreal for the first time? What would you say to them?
An artist or a visitor?
An artist.
An artist. I would say bring your come in with your community in mind, because I love to have artists at the show who are interested in other people. Next to them. Hey, I'm whatever. Nice to meet you. This is my first time, and then chat with everyone. I don't enjoy particularly people who will just come, do the work, just work for 3 days, and don't talk to anyone, because it's the perfect time to meet new people, get connection, get connection for guest spot, be inspired by other artists' work. And for me, don't expect maybe that you will be super busy for 3 days without 1 minute for yourself. Hopefully it will happen. But if not, be there because you feel like you're part of a community and you want to learn from other people, and then just get acquainted with.
Work hard, but take time to chill.
And I think any new artists that show up to the convention all say the same thing. At the end of the 3 days, it's been a great experience because people have a smile on their face. We make sure we go around the convention. I mean, this is what I do for those 3 days. I work around I walk 10 hours a day going, "Hey, are you all right? Did you meet that guy? Did you see this?" And and try to get people to share.
Yes. So wow, that's we just talked about Quebec here. Montreal here. So what about Quebec? Is it? You said it was the same formula. It's the same ideal.
We try to. I mean, it is the same shell, right? It's the same structure. At the end of the day, we put a bit less of artists because the market is smaller. So again, we want people to be able to work. We also know what styles are different between cities to cities. Some Montreal would be people like Japanese work, some traditional. Quebec would be traditional new school and stuff. Even now,
more young. Crowd.
So Quebec versus Montreal.
Exactly. We try also to have two shows. One would be more international. The other one more local, even though we have international artists as well.
But Quebec, the vibe is it's very laid back. People really like to come to the Quebec show because it's a bit smaller. They have time to talk with everyone, and it's just the environment is nice as well. I mean, on the water, it's a pretty venue that we have, and the overall vibe of the Quebec show is more laid back. People come to have a good time for the weekend.
It's our baby. It's fun.
It's a fun convention.
It's fun. It's like we have a team from the start, right? We gather the team together, friends that have been working with us for 20 years.
And we bring them to Quebec to work with us.
Same team
all
that
the
take
time.
care of the floor. So even the artists that are coming for years, they know who picks up the garbage. They know the name.
Like little shout out to Mathieu.
Mathieu, Fran, Vanessa, Joe.
And we're very lucky.
Irish. I mean,
we're very lucky that we have the same crew working with us, both Montreal. And like I say, people are older, they have family, they have job, they have, a life. And they still take time twice a year, like a full weekend, to come and help at the convention because they like it. And, we're very, very grateful for that.
That's amazing because to me, you guys, since you picked the conventions and created the Quebec City, you changed the venue as well. You were at the beautiful Gare Windsor before, but to me, you're at an amazing place right now. They're both the same.
We were very lucky to get the Grand Quai. Basically, obviously, we love Gare Windsor. It's a magnificent building, but
was very hard to.
The management was
yeah.
very hard to deal with. and
Also, the layout of the place was
Yes.
harder to like. The booths were smaller. It was beautiful, but hard to deal with.
And just to bring your stuff in,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Yeah, as a
So
supplier.
it wasn't a financial question because it's more expensive where we're at now. But at some point years ago, in fact, we'll tell you the dates, but we had to move from Windsor Station and go to Place Bonaventure because they were
yes.
renovating the
That's
Windsor.
right.
So we had no
Remember
choice.
that. Yes.
That was a huge venue, but no soul, right?
No, it was.
See, it was
No,
so
it was very
again.
industrial, more like Salon du Livre.
Yeah.
It was a very different vibe.
Again, we
Yeah.
try.
Right?
So if you take that example, we try the convention to be a home, not a house, right? We want that soul. We want when you come in, you're like, oh, we're gonna feel good here. So that Grand Quai now, it's same vibe as Gare Windsor, easier to deal with, and we felt it right away when we visited. We're like, okay, we're gonna have a good supper here. We're gonna have friendships. This is a good place.
And the management of the Grand Quai.
Super
when,
nice.
Yeah, when we contact them because we were looking for a new venue, and there's not that much places that you can get in Montreal
300 people.
with
yeah.
the same kind of vibe, more lightning, and that looks pretty, and you think people will enjoy going there. So when we contact them, they were like super stoked to welcome us. When
They knew about the convention.
they
Yes.
knew about the convention before, and when the weekend ended, right away, even the people working there, they actually stayed like after their shift,
Yeah.
stayed during the weekend,
Oh,
and then
really?
just have
Yeah.
like a drink
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the bar and got tattooed.
One of the
and-
ladies was a bit worried because she didn't know, right? So
Yes.
she's asking a lot of questions. The shift ends up at 7 p.m. on the Friday, and then at 10 p.m. I'm smoking a cigarette outside, and she's had a few drinks already. She said, "This is awesome!" I'm like, "Yeah." I get
Because
it."
the overall vibe, and we were very lucky over the years, it was always super friendly. From artists, from visitors, so I think that it shows when the weekend ends, they see how, I mean, we never have any problem, we'll touch woods, just, but it's just a good vibe, and you can tell overall.
I mean, to me, as an attending artist, this is what I look for. I do the convention as at the convention I want to attend, right?
Absolutely.
This is what I'm trying to do. So when I go to Toronto, when any convention that are well organized, it's because the people that organize it love tattooing, are involved, are present from the morning to night. They're right there, and you have to feel that vibe. So this is what when I attend a convention and that happening, I like it. So I'm trying to.
I can feel the passion still,
Yeah.
And of course, on 21 year of Montreal, 8 years Quebec.
Yes.
You must have like a convention year that you will remember for your life. Was it 2020? Was it not 20? But
The first convention back from COVID was Montreal, because we could have done Quebec, but we didn't want to,
It was
because
too
it was
close.
still
Okay.
very close to when like the old restriction were still some in place,
And you don't want to police tattoo
No,
artists
we
that don't
didn't
have
want to
masks.
be like,
It's
oh,
like, I
put
don't
on
wanna
your
do-
mask or
you know.
don't, I mean, it's difficult to not stand too close when you're getting tattooed. So we didn't want to do that. So, of course, we're like, okay, should we do Montreal or should we not? So that was 2022 that we started.
the first year back.
Yes,
sorry.
the first year back. And you could tell people were extremely happy
Really?
to get back into
So
the
2022 would
convention.
be one of the
It
best
was-
for
I
you.
think-
It was a
I
good.
mean-
It was a good event.
Crazy.
We all got sick after.
True.
Everybody got COVID after the convention
Yeah.
because people were like, "Oh, nice to see you," and then just
Yeah.
being super close because we haven't seen each other for like a
Yeah,
couple of
yeah,
years.
yeah, and you sort of forget quick,
Yes,
right?
exactly. And I mean, a lot of people coming from outside the country, so basically you haven't seen no one for like 3 to 4
That was a
years.
cool one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was a fun one.
I like the one. I mean, all of them have something special. When Philippe Lou came, I mean, and those did
12?
2014 maybe.
I'm not good with dates.
2013.
I mean,
We
that
have
was
the-
that was a
14,
blast.
12. That
We have
was
to
a-
fact check.
But to
everything.
be good, my favorite Montreal convention ever was 1994. That's when I met her.
I wasn't there, obviously.
No,
Because I'm not from the tattoo industry at all. I only got involved because I met Pierre. I had no idea a tattoo convention existed. Like there wasn't something that I had no idea. So yes, at the 1994 we met, but I didn't go to the
No.
convention. I wasn't there.
Crazy. So I guess the next Montreal and Quebec City will be in 2025.
Yes, 2nd to 4th of May for Quebec, and then Montreal.
5, 6, 7 September. We're going back to in September for
Yes.
Montreal.
Yes.
Yes.
is there any reason for the change?
Well, the change of last year is because we deal with the Grand Quai de Montréal, which is the terminal for cruise ships.
Yes.
And sometimes when there's too many ships, you can't have the venue.
Yes, that's the
And they
main
can't-
purpose is to
Yeah.
be
Oh,
like
so
a
that's
cruise
real.
ship.
It's not like
Yes.
a. Oh,
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a cruise
okay.
ship terminal. Actually, it's funny because Quebec is also a cruise ship
Yeah.
terminal. So
Wow.
both of our venue are cruise ship terminal.
So
And
sometimes they could-
apparently nowadays cruise ship are very big. Like I wouldn't think that people would still go on cruise, but yes, they do. So because
Oh.
they only have a certain amount of weekend and they can only guarantee us the confirmed date in December.
That's crazy.
So we had to wait to December to get the dates for this year. And last year, the only weekend that they had available was the August weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the way up to December, actually.
So that's like crazy organization without even thinking about the first day of opening.
Yes.
Right.
You
So-
could, because
It's
every-
always super stressful. This is
Yes.
actually nerve-wracking.
Yes.
Are we gonna get the dates?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Can we have a day?
Yeah.
Can we have the dates? Because we were always the second weekend of September for many, many, many years. That was because we would always place our show depending on other show.
Okay.
So, because you don't want to be the same weekend as another event.
No.
Again, it's being part of the community. You
Yes.
call people, and your show is
So-
that. Is it okay if I do mine
So
here?
the London show was always the third weekend of the September. So we would do our show one weekend before the
Gotcha.
London show. So it would give people a chance to come to ours.
In London, UK, you're talking.
Yes.
The one that Mickey was doing for many years.
Yeah.
So we were always trying to have a weekend where there was not another event. Last year we did August because that's the only weekend that they had available at the Cape, which was okay for us because Winnipeg was the week before.
That's right. That's right.
So people would just go to Winnipeg and then come to Montreal afterward.
Because that can throw a wrench in the business because there's a show during the weekend or even a week before
Yes.
Yeah.
sometimes.
I mean, the traveling, not nowadays, I mean, traveling, everything is expensive, really, right? So some artists, they choose show, and obviously you don't want to do 3 or 4. Some people do, but you don't really want to do 3, 4 shows in a row. And you don't want to be too far away from other show that is just like a weird
Well, it's
weekend.
a question of whether it would be hard
The
to do
weather
in February,
also.
as an example,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So we try to be, nice and fair with everybody involved in the business. Even if people that came afterwards, after us, other convention, we call them and they're like, okay, you're doing that one. Let's figure some stuff out,
For
right?
Quebec this year, I changed my
because of
date.
Trois-Rivières?
No,
No,
last year we changed because of Trois-Rivières. The Quebec date was supposed to be in June, but the guy in Trois-Rivières has been doing his show for a long time.
That's right.
So we called him up and we said we change our date.
So
to
we
ours.
changed our date and we put it in April. But this year we went back to the weekend of May, which is May in Quebec is nice because Quebec can get a
Correct.
bit chilly if you do it too
You
early.
don't know
Yes.
what's gonna
You
happen.
don't know. So May in Quebec is nice. It's a nice weather time, and the city is fun to be at in the month of May. And for us, it gives us a buffer to do it in May and in Montreal in September. It's not too close between 2 shows, so we have time to work on both.
And that's a
Like,
question you
equal
can ask
time.
every organizer. Do they take a vacation right after it?
So Pierre,
We usually take a week.
so talking like this, you mean it's very taxing to do a convention, right? Like
It's just like Christmas or any party. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna have family over. You have a lot of people. You don't sleep much because you like. I mean, as a host, I'm trying to be there as late as I can
Yes.
be to enjoy my friends that came from Europe or the States or wherever, right?
that's right.
But then I still have to be there at 5 in the morning,
Correct.
right? So
Yeah.
So-
Usually it's very long days, especially the Friday of the convention, because most of the time we're not able to set up on the Thursday like a lot of show are able to do because of obviously of all these cruise ships and everything. So sometimes we can only set up a room on the Friday morning. So you need to be there super early.
Oh my God.
And
Yeah.
then it's always stressful. Will it be ready by the time people are
Because
coming
at
in?
that point, it's not in your hands. It's
Exactly.
all the people
I think
that
that,
comes.
that's
and-
the most, for me, the most like tiring thing is when I don't, like I'm not fully in control of, insurance wise or stuff like that. It's when you need someone, you call, you email, but people don't always come, answer you back right away. So it's always when it's not in your hand 100% that I find it a bit more stressful.
I was super tired for the 20th edition because I got my accident 8 days before the
Yes,
show.
That's
this
right.
year.
That's
So
right. That was
I
last
just
year.
went
Yes.
through surgery,
Yes.
so I was not even supposed to walk and stuff. But I mean, it's the 20th anniversary, so every day I would go for a few hours.
I
Was-
brought a little wheelchair, but he
and
didn't
they
want to
wanna go
sit in.
so that I was super tired, but
Yes.
less tired than all the other years that I would stay for 18 hours on the floor.
So, I mean, how's your shoulder now?
Not 100%, but I can tattoo now. So again, I'm good.
So you started tattooing, so life is sort of back to what it was.
Yes.
And of course, I would, sell Val short if I say that, doesn't matter, Val does everything. But you are the face,
Yes.
face really of the
Yeah.
convention, right? Like you are the tattooer, and that's something important, right? That convention should be owned or run or
Yeah.
at least interested by
That is the
tattooers.
worker. I bring a lot of ideas, maybe too much, sometimes too many, because I wake up super early and then she wakes up. I'm like, this is what we should do, and this is, and I'm a bit
have like
crazy.
their email,
And then
this
Val
is-
keeps some, throws some, and then actually does the work.
I can relate 100%. That's good. That's good. Just so we cut it off here,
Yeah.
is there anything you want to talk about?
No, please come.
Yes,
please come to the
come
show.
visit the show. Come
If you're an
support.
artist, if you're a visitor,
Yes.
just come.
And
Yeah.
support good convention. I think it's important. If people have the chance to go to tattoo convention as an artist and as a visitor, it gives a new light to.
Yeah, and
it's
this
less. It's easier, I think, to walk into a tattoo convention if you're a visitor than walking into a tattoo shop where you might feel like it's enclosed and you're not quite sure. If you go to a tattoo convention, then you can have access to hundreds of artists.
Yeah.
And I think it's easier for a visitor. It's un petit peu moins gênant, mettons.
But as Val said, our time is limited, so pick the right convention. Make sure you go to good people. Make sure you go to good lineup, to good cities, and then people that actually enjoy the community and love it for real.
So one last time, the Quebec City Convention is
2, 3, 4
Of May.
May, and then Montreal is 5, 6, 7 September.
in 25.
Yes.
We're gonna have all the description below here for you to go and check. Subscriptions for the booth, they're open right now.
Technically, we're invite
Okay.
only,
Oh.
People apply and
but
then-
we always manage to have room. Like I always say, we're taking application for the wait list.
Yes.
Obviously, it's easier that way. But the way we work is we look at every email or Instagram DM we receive, and then we look at the work. It's you don't have to be based like a solid tattooer for like 25 years to get into
As long
the
as
show.
you're good.
If you're a good artist and that your application is fairly polite,
Right.
because it's not always the case. It's always a plus, obviously. But yeah, we're always open to bringing new artists in, 100%.
So basically that means whoever wants to go to Montreal, you can. Don't worry, apply and
Yes.
you'll.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if
You'll
you're
have a
not-
response no
and-
matter what.
Yes, and if you're not getting in this year, you might get in the next year. Because I mean, there's been people who've been waiting for a while. It's not everyone that's amazing artists right away, but they apply and then we see the work over the years, and at one point it's like, okay, yeah, you're ready. You're ready to get
Yeah.
into the convention, and we're always pleased when we get to bring new people.
We're not putting artists just to fill up the place. We think of what we love, and we think of being respectful to the people that pay the entrance. They want to get tattooed by good artists. And, you can't fuck it up.
That's good. That's good. So thank you for coming here. Big Six interview. We interviewed the Big Six convention in Canada. We're here with Pierre Chaplan,
Valérie Émond.
Valérie Émond. I didn't know your last name.
Good catch.
And we're here at PSC Tattoo with Dave Cummings and the crew. And thank you, Dave. He's in the bathroom. I don't know what he does right now. But he lent us his place to do this. So thank you very much.